This is the Unfrazzled Entrepreneur Podcast. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. My name is Steven. I'm here with a good friend and co-host, Ryan. Ryan, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Becoming less frazzled as the days go on. I think even having a lot of calls with the small business owners that we're talking to and seeing their pain points, I don't feel so bad about my current situation.
You're comparing yourself like not as bad as that guy.
Well, not that, but just like, I'm also struggling with that. I don't feel like I'm alone in this pursuit of trying to build MMR, monthly recurring revenue. But a lot of the conversations that we've been having with small business owners are with marketing. It seems like that is a major pain point for people, and more specifically, social media marketing. So I wanted to take this podcast and focus in on social media marketing and ask you questions if you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
So the first slide I'm actually going to pull up is a update to the office building idea and concept that we had. We talked about floors. And I think as we were having some conversations and I was talking to different people about the floors, it was a little confusing. So I just changed it to departments. So the departments of small businesses CEO, this is still you. And then the sales, marketing, operations, research and development, and then accounting. You can put those wherever you want. I was going to have some colors changed to different things, but I think everybody's business is different, but I feel like these are the core pieces of any small business. I think most people that we are talking to is sales and marketing. That's where they're struggling. So today we're focusing on the marketing. Let's say this floor is the marketing. We would like to help you have a manager and then people in place to do that, because Ryan's situation, he kind of completely hands off his social media marketing. And I think this is something that we want to talk a little bit more about today. So what is social media marketing? Social media marketing is the use of social media platforms and websites to promote your products and goods, services. Is that what you would define that as? That's social media marketing?
Yeah, that's a great definition. Yeah, just using the tools that exist, those social media platforms, to make yourself known, to allow people to, see your business and engage with them in a way that causes them to, to get on your email list, do business with you, all the above.
Yeah, I guess for me, I would think of social media marketing more as the updated version of marketing that allows you to have a relationship with your potential customers and current customers. I like to think of it as you really want to target in on your audience, set a goal, build a strategy, use analytics, the data to make data-driven decisions, and then prioritize one platform over anything else. Reason for social media to me is for marketing, as I'm not a big fan of social media myself. How social media marketing can help your small business. Ryan, for your business, how do you feel social media is helping you?
For me, it's a big part of it is brand awareness. It's not like I make a post and immediately I see a lot of sales or a lot of emails into my into my system, but it's just letting people know that I exist, that I want to help them. And for me, it is a way to engage with people. Like, the old ways of TV and radio is all very much one way. There's not interaction there. There's not a way for you as the advertiser to really get feedback on those types of platforms.
Yeah, it's becoming very expensive.
Yes, it's very expensive. And it's a very much shotgun approach where I used to work in politics, and the guys who I worked for, they'd have to run TV ads. And, it was very inefficient because for example, one of the guys I worked for was running for Congress in Southern Indiana. And so he bought Louisville TV time. Well, you can't go. Well, that worked because that Louisville, Kentucky station broadcast was the major station for that Southern Indiana district. However, you can't go to that TV station and say, I only want my ads to be shown to people in Indiana that can vote for me. His ads got shown in Kentucky as well, and those folks have no way to vote for him. So it's just very, very, very inefficient. And that was the biggest expense of that campaign, was we were always raising money to buy TV ads. And there's also no feedback that you can get from those. Social media is a totally different ballgame where you can make a post right away. It's free. and instantaneously you can see people commenting and you can engage back with them. All to say is you can build a relationship with people with social media like you can't in any other platform, and that is great for business.
Yeah, that communication aspect is very new for marketing, because I think before it was always a one-way street. Now you do get a little bit of interaction on it. I think the other important part for me to think of how to use social media is to really grow your email list. When you're on other platforms and you're gaining followers over there, it's great for the interaction, but it's not really building your business. The email growth, I think, is the most powerful piece of the social media, is to draw them into either free offers or joining your email list and getting that interaction and their email list so that you make them your audience instead of being an audience due to whatever platform that you're on. The other part that you mentioned was like the communication. Something that we were doing for our past business was interacting through like customer support through our social media. I kind of dummied this slide, but we had people that were paying for our service and we didn't have customer support through any web services, but we did have a Facebook page, and we had a lot of people doing customer service like this: I'm lost, I need help. And then it was a great way for us to customer service people and to let other people see that, oh, these guys are real people and they do get back to you when you ask a question. It was maybe a accidental thing that we stumbled into, but it made it so much easier to have that interaction with customers and go, oh, these guys are real. They are answering questions. It like built up our brand inside the social media platform, and then be able to answer those questions. It was just an easy way for us to interact with customers that way.
For sure.
How to start social media marketing as a solo entrepreneur. As we're having a lot more conversations with these small business people, some of them are solo entrepreneurs and they're just struggling with marketing, period. And then social media marketing. I know you've told a story, I believe, on our podcast before, but if not, if you could tell that story of when you were starting doing social media.
Yeah. So, I mean, before I hired it out, it was a very frustrating endeavor because I'd wake up and as a business owner, you need to be on social media. You see other people doing it. You see people like Gary Vee doing it so well, so just with excellence. And, you got to remember, he's got lots of people working for him to make that happen. But you can do very similar things, even as a solopreneur. And so it comes down to practically, okay, back to my story was I'd wake up every day thinking, what am I going to post today? I would try to think of something. I'd look in a book to get a quote. I'd look at my photo reel to find a cute picture of Callan, because at the time he was a lot smaller. I think I started my doing this more like every day when he was about 18 months old. Now he's 5. But I'd wake up wondering, what am I going to post today? I'd decide something. Then I'd have to go to Canva. If it wasn't just a picture, I have to go to Canva, make it look nice. And Canva's great. And it does amazing. It makes anybody a graphic designer, but it was still a frustrating process of making it look pretty, the right colors and the right fonts. And I'm just not a graphic designer. So I would literally spend sometimes an hour on that whole process to do one post, which is a horrible use of your time. If you know how much your time is worth, then you want to cry, because I just spent how much money on that one post. And you're not even sure, because it doesn't even necessarily, it's hard to look. I can't look at one post and see, did that bring me any money? Like, because if it's something about, me as a family going out on a picnic during the afternoon, I can't pinpoint that to, oh, I made so many sales from that post. It doesn't do that. It doesn't work that way. And so you start to wonder, is my time even worth doing this? Do I need to be doing this? Answer is yes, but it probably does not need to be you. Or if it is you, you need to have a streamlined process that makes it simple and quick. So if I had to start over again and do this all by myself, I would batch content. I would spend a couple of hours, even if it was 4 hours, even if it was a large part of the day, my working day, putting together the social media for the whole month. And I would start small. I would look at just 3 posts a week. 5 at the most, as far just to take the pressure off that I have to have something out every day. Now I do now, but that's because I hire people to do it for me. But I would think about 3 days a week. What are 3 posts a week that I can do? If I have a podcast or a blog, I would simply pull from that. I would take that content, that pillar content that we talk about, and break up a podcast, do some very simple editing, or go into a blog post that I have that I want to use as the theme for that week and pull out quotes. Maybe if it's a longer article, you can even pull out the whole month worth of stuff. I'd get quotes. I'd find, I'd go through a book that I have been reading and find quotes that I like and create posts out of that and do 3 a week. So if you do a whole month, you're looking at about 12 posts that you need to have. And then go ahead and schedule it so it's done. And so, okay, my social media is pretty much done for the month. But then I would think about those extra days. So if I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are scheduled, then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I wouldn't put pressure on myself to do this, but
Add a little
I would,
sex and
if I'm
extra in
hanging
there.
out somewhere, I'm at the park with Callan, and I thought, oh, you know what? How many guys would love to be at the park with their son at 10 o'clock in the morning? So I'd post a picture on Instagram and him playing on the monkey bars or something, and just say, hey, I'm so thankful to be able to be at the park on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. with my little buddy. Things like that simple, quick picture and a quick caption, and you're done. And that's Tuesday. Do the same thing on Thursday if it works out, and then the same thing on Saturday. And that really would be my strategy. I'd keep it super simple, scale it down. And of course, when I'm in a promotion, I'm promoting something, the week's post might be more about that, and I'd have a stronger call to action on some of these, to try to point them to a resource or to a promotion I'm doing. But that's really what I would do. I'd make it simple for myself. I wouldn't stress out about it. I'd focus on one platform. Now, that doesn't mean you can't repurpose, especially Facebook makes it easy to go on Instagram at the same time, to make one post and then it goes on both places. But that's what I would do if I was starting over.
Yeah, I guess it's a little interesting to do as a social or a solo entrepreneur. I think both me and you are not huge fans of social media. And I think if you fall into that camp, doing this by yourself is going to be like pulling teeth. It is extremely time consuming, especially in the beginning. But I think Ryan talked about it, having a Canva account because it's free and there's a lot of templates in there, having an Adobe Express, which is almost the same thing as Canva, it's just on the Adobe side. Those things make it a lot quicker to do, and you can be a graphic designer without being a graphic designer because those templates in there are extremely easy to use. I'm not a graphic designer at all, and making even these slides was like just point click, type some stuff. It was like no time to do that. So
right.
I'm glad that stuff exists. Otherwise, like I'd never be doing any post. I don't do it now anyway, but I would have no chance of doing it. But I think because it is time consuming, again, just going back to my tips, I highly suggest spend more time finding your audience. Really create a goal, and the goal can just be consistency. Like Ryan said, batch that stuff. Do 3 posts a week. Then on certain days that you're actually doing an activity, capture those moments and send them out. Set the goal of consistency to start, I think, is the best thing to do. If you have consistency under your belt, then just try to hit some type of analytic that you're getting so many shares, you're getting so many likes. Create posts that are polls, try to get interaction, building the strategy around that, batching, doing content in a way that helps you get to your goals, and then really dig into the analytics to see what's working, what's not working. Making those data-driven decisions, I think, is a great way to increase your efficiency in the time that you're setting aside for that stuff. And I highly suggest like really prioritizing one platform. If you want to start shotgunning a lot of platforms to see like where your audience is at, because you don't know and you're testing, wherever you're getting the most interaction, just pick that one and stick with it. I know in today's age where it feels like you need to be on every platform doing everything, I don't think that's real, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur. Like you're going to spend all your time there and not work on or in your business doing the actual things. Me and Ryan talk about this in the business, outside the business. The outside the business, I think, is marketing, trying to bring people in. Inside the business, you're actually helping your customers. If you're spending all your time on social media, you're not really helping your customers. And I feel like that's the more important part of your business.
Yep, for sure.
How to improve your social media marketing. If you are a solo entrepreneur trying to go to that next level, you hinted at it a little bit, but I want you to explain your story from going from solo to how you now handle your own social media.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's just hiring it out. I think another way, if I was still doing it again, though, if I had to take that back on myself, I'd be looking at people that I think that are doing it well. Somebody like Russell Brunson is a master at this. I'd copy a lot of the stuff, the techniques he's using, and because there are people that spend lots of money to know what works and what doesn't. So just copy what they're doing. I mean, don't copy their posts. You can actually, you could screenshot their post and give them credit. There's nothing wrong with that. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a good strategy.
don't copy and not give them credit.
Yeah, I just came with an amazing idea.
Right, exactly. But look at what types of posts are they posting? What kind of questions are they asking? I mean, they're probably testing things out as well too, but obviously they're putting money behind this. They got people on staff, they're experts. So just find somebody that you think is doing this really well, and what are they doing? Copy that. That'd be a big part of my strategy. What types of pictures are they using? What types of, are they doing long form content or short form content? Are they doing tags on Instagram or no tags? Are the tags in the post or in the comments? Just things like that. You can learn a lot just by watching what other people do.
Yeah,
But
building that strategy.
I would hire it out. I would,
Yeah,
that's to improve it, is just get it off your plate, especially if it's in your drudgery zone that I know you're going to want to talk about here in a little bit. Get it off your plate and focus on the things that you're the best at.
As a small business owner, you are looking for ways to get your time back. The most valuable time that you can spend making the most money, spending with your time, spending time with the people that you want, is where you should be trying to get all your time to be in that zone. The drudgery zone for me especially is social media. I don't like it. I understand that it is the new place to hang out. Social media is the new watering hole.
Yeah.
I think before, when it was the radio, everybody was around the radio. Then it was TV. Then most people are around the TV. Now, because there's so many different platforms, it's a little more compartmentalized, but there's still people going to these platforms. Even though I don't like Facebook, I don't like Instagram, there's a lot of platforms that I don't like, I still realize that people are there. There's eyeballs there. Less people are going to Google and hitting the search bar to find whatever they're looking for than just opening up their phone, scrolling for a little bit, going, oh, I do like XYZ product. Let me go to the website that way. So people are coming to websites from many different avenues now. So if you want to be an entrepreneur or anything online, I feel like you have to go where the people are. The people are in social media. You have to be a part of it. And I agree 100% with Ryan. You have to hand it off, because it is extremely time consuming. If you are trying to grow a business and do other things, social media marketing, it is a lucrative endeavor, but it should not be your whole business. Marketing should be a piece of the business. It should be like the bloodline of your business, but you still have a business to run. Your time is still valuable doing other things. That Michael Hyatt slide, drudgery zone, this is like the perfect representation of what me and Ryan are trying to help you do. If social media is in distraction zone because you open it up and you're following some rabbit hole or somebody else clicking on something and you're just spending a lot of time not actually doing the social media marketing, or if it's a disinterest like me or here in the drudgery zone, where that might be exactly where me and Ryan are at with social media, then you really should hand it off. Somebody else that's going to do it, stay focused, actually get it done. That's the part that you should be handing off so that you can stay in your desired zone where you're passionate and proficient, and we should have profitable on here. That's where you should be spending most of your time. We, since the calls that we've had, I think have come up with 3 very interesting offers. We've seen people that want to do it themselves. So we have come up with a template to help guide you, because this is something that Ryan was talking about when he first got started. He would spend a lot of time and not know exactly what to post or how to post. We kind of want to do something that's a little bit more hand-holdy. We're giving you the template. It's just fill in the blank, put your name, put your products.
Templates. So there's
templates.
30 templates.
Yes.
I'm going to go 30 templates per month. So if you want to be a little more aggressive, you'll just get a new fresh set of templates every month.
They're industry specific. So if you're going after something, we're helping you put those together. Some are quotes, some are pictures, but we're trying to mix in the promotional with the interactive post there. And if you want to be more like Ryan and hand it completely off, we have an offer for that where it's just done for you. We will help you at the different platforms that you're on. We will pull the information. You don't have to give us anything if you don't want to. Just brand, logo, a couple of things, and we will do everything else for you. Then we see that there are some people that want a strategy, want to atomize their pillar content. They have an idea. They know who their target audience are. Those are the people that we are more working with to help them build that strategy and how to implement. The VAs work a lot more closely with them, with asking them, hey, I saw you just did a presentation. Can we pull some of that along with add your offer in there? Really set out like a strategy for growing the email list, promoting your stuff, putting the value ladder together, and put it into process for you. So we are trying to cover all the basis of the people that we've had calls on. And since we've been doing this a little while, we said we should open this up to more people and help them with social media. So if that's you, please check out wingmanvas.com/social media. The link will also be in the description. All right. The next question I have for you is traditional marketing versus social media marketing. What would you say is the bigger difference between the traditional marketing and the social media marketing?
Cost is so expensive. When we I remember we would do town hall meetings when I was working for a congressman. He'd come back into town and he'd want to go into a city and just have a town hall meeting. We'd pull out, we'd spend it was like $800 for a 1-day quarter page ad in a local newspaper. And we're not talking like, we're not in Los Angeles or Houston, we're talking about small town Indiana. And so it was expensive to let people know what we were doing. And again, it was just one way. TV was crazy expensive. Radio ads are expensive. And also you can't measure it. And so today with social media, you can target so far down into like, who is my real audience? And let's find just those people. You can go into Facebook groups. Now, we're typically, when we say social media marketing, we think about making posts on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter.
But there is networking.
But you can go into a Facebook group, and these groups might already be groups you're a part of already. Think about who is your audience, where are they hanging out online? You're probably a part of some of these Facebook groups that already have your ideal audience. Get in there and serve those folks. That's going to be a great source of leads. You're a fisherman, Stephen. You know how to, you talk a lot, you use the fishing analogy. Throw your lines into those Facebook groups and just serve those folks. People are going to find you and like, wow, he's really helpful on this topic. They're going to stalk you online. They're going to find your Facebook profile. They're going to see at the top that you have a lead magnet. They have some free offer. By the way, a little tip, you can customize your personal Facebook profile to each group that you're in. If you have questions about that, just email me, ryan@ryanrieger.com. We can do a separate video on how to do that, but it's pretty slick. And most people don't even know you could do that. Because like if you're in a group with a bunch of people, you may want to have a Facebook profile that is more business-like. And so you can do that for each group. So it doesn't look like, because you may not want your personal Facebook profile to be all businessy. You want it to be more personal. You can customize it for each group. It makes it look like way more business-like.
Can do that with the old radio ad.
Yeah, you cannot do that with an old radio. So it's just customizable. The engagement, so I mean, cheaper, sometimes free, most of the time free, customizable, and you can interact with your customer. So it's far superior, in my opinion, for running a business and getting the word out.
Yeah, the old way of media, the TV, the radio, the newspaper ad, I don't know what those costs were back in the day. Maybe they were less expensive, but they are definitely getting a lot more expensive nowadays versus the things that replaced it. Like YouTube is kind of replacing the TV now. Podcasts, I think, is replacing the radio. Blogs is kind of replacing the newspapers. And then social media is just like a whole new way to interact with people. It's very interesting. Even on blogs now, they have like the little comment section down at the bottom. Whereas before, if you like read a newspaper ad, there's no way to talk to the person that wrote that ad unless you wrote a letter back to the paper. And what's the chances of that person reading it and then get back to you? Like,
right.
Nowadays, it's so much easier to interact with people. The old way of marketing, it was just one way, like you keep saying. Whereas nowadays, even a YouTube video, if I make like this will be on a podcast and this will be a video. You can comment on the bottom and we will see that comment and we'll more than likely interact with you. It's a wild thing that we're moving into this digital age that you can communicate with people. Whereas the old media is, you're not communicating with them. The people that made your favorite show, you're not going to be able to talk to them unless you go to some con or something like that. Whereas the YouTube video that you see this on, you can comment right now from the comfort of your own home directly to us. It's wild to see that.
Yeah, I can't imagine building a business 50 years ago where you had to, get customers and not, if email wasn't around. I don't know how it'd be so much harder. I mean, I'm sure there's certain things that were easier about it, but just the online businesses have changed everything and made it so much easier for people to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, especially with like, if you had a very specific like fishing product for me, I like different fishing lures. the chances of a company that makes that to interact with me, what do you do is you just get radio ad, and hopefully I'm listening to
So
whatever radio station is on. Like it seems so wild where you're just like
yeah,
completely shotgunning. Whereas now you can,
yeah,
like you said, be on a little bit more of the offensive. You can go to those Facebook groups, you can go to different Instagram places and see like who is talking about this. Where are
yeah.
the watering holes for this thing that I like? And let's see what
Yeah.
other people are in.
That'd be kind of a fun episode to do. Like, okay, imagine we're back in 1950s and we have a business. What would you do with 2022 thinking? I mean, we could brainstorm right now. It'd be kind of fun. I mean, what would you do if you were in 1955 and you had a fishing bait and tackle type of business, a mail order? Maybe you had a brick and mortar, but you also had mail order fishing lures. How would you acquire customers without having to do maybe we say we're in the 70s where there's more TVs.
Make it a little easier.
Your options are TV, radio, newspaper. How would you get in front of people? I mean, I can think of some things I might do that were a little outside the box, but
I think the TV
you
was
want to
big.
acquire those customers. You want to
Yeah.
acquire those email addresses. They don't have email, so you want to acquire mailing addresses. And phone numbers. How would you get mailing addresses? I don't know. Maybe I would be attending conventions. I'd maybe put my own fishing convention on. So you're going to have to advertise that that's happening. So it's going to cost you money to get people to your fishing convention. I would partner up with other. Well, this is not the point of this episode, but I do partner up with others. Who else has?
I enjoy this because I think this can be future episodes. We do a lot of this brainstorming where it's just like, here's a hypothetical, let's see. But I like the idea of having it a challenge where it's like, hey, I mean, we've talked to people, we consistently have calls with small businesses and we're just listening to their pain points and then try to brainstorm and help them. I think that's extremely valuable to have it in an open setting like this where we have, and maybe if that's you, go to wingman.com. I'll now after this episode, I'll try to put something together. We can capture an email. So if you'd like to be on the podcast and have a pain point, reach out to us and we'll set something up like that where we can have you on the pod, go, what kind of business do you have? How can we brainstorm with you and come up with a solution for this problem, both in a solo entrepreneur and a hand this off? Because I think this is maybe another thing. As we're having calls with people, I don't think they understand or how easy it is to have a VA hand that stuff off. I think like me, we talked about this before on previous episodes. It just seems so crazy that I could hand this work off. I don't trust this person. Are they going to be able to do it at my level? And then go, oh, they're doing it way better than me, especially with the social media where it's like, look how long it's taking me, where I can hand this off to somebody and just get done in the background and I never have to think of it. This is a reality and it's not thousands of dollars to do it. Like over the full year, it's very cost effective to have VAs help you in your business, checking your email. There's all kinds of wild things that we can help you with.
For sure. To do. Yeah. Back to the idea of so you think of the Dream 100 strategy would still work. So you'd be thinking about who else has my audience. So find somebody else that in the fishing niche that has a large mailing address list, partner up with them in some creative way. Maybe they'll do a mailing for you and you split the profits. Yeah, we could still do it.
I think even like co-creating is so interesting to me. Like find Penn, who's a big reel company, find a way to sell packs with your products in there. I don't know if Rapala or anybody has done that. I would assume yes, but that to me would be like the go-to. I know this company sells reels, selling the half of what you need to have my product. I need to partner up with them. I need to find some way to get my products to them, even because then you could sell directly to them and then they could sell your product, which would make it even easier for you. What tips do you have for people for social media marketing, Ryan? Or do you want me to go first?
That's a really good list. Find your audience, set a goal, build strategy, analytics, and prioritize one platform. But
spend a lot of time trying to find your audience. Even if you think about you, like where are you spending most of the time? What platform do you understand the most? It might be a lot of guesswork in the beginning to test a lot of this stuff out, but I think that's the most valuable piece. Then setting a goal and building a strategy. I mean, Ryan talked about a lot of different things, batching, looking at other people's content, going on the aggressive, going into Facebook groups. There's a ton of different strategies that you can implement. But I think after you have the strategy, you should be handing it off. You know where they're at, you set a goal, hand off whatever your strategy is to someone else so they can run in the background and it can be a lot more consistent. And then use the analytics that you're seeing to make data-driven decisions friends that we have that are really good at marketing, they're also saying the same thing. Like they're shotgunning a lot of different offers, paying a lot of different platforms to do things instead of trying to optimize all the different platforms. Now what they're doing is taking their ad budget and just focusing it hyper on one platform, because they go, it's not even worth trying to optimize everything because the prices are going up. It's so much more lucrative to focus in whatever the platform that's working, optimize that one, and spend the max ad on that one platform instead of trying to spread yourself all over the internet, which I thought was very interesting. It's definitely a big change in marketing over the last couple of years when they were like, oh, spread your budget all over the place, market everywhere, you got to be in front of everybody at all times. It's like, it's not working like that anymore. Your audience is normally sticking to that one platform. It's not like people are jumping platforms all over the place. But I mean, you can even think yourself, are you on Facebook every day and Instagram and TikTok and Clubhouse? That's probably not around anymore. On YouTube, like maybe, but how much time are you spending on each one of those? Which one are you spending the most time on? Think about your audience. They're doing the same thing. They're probably spending the max time on. I love YouTube, so I'm spending the most time on YouTube. I'm not spending any time on those other platforms, but I do interact with people even on YouTube. And then sometimes those interactions go to another platform, but I'm starting on YouTube. So I would spend most of my ad spend on YouTube.
I'd also say repurposing would be a tip.
Yes.
So if you want to be on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, like the 4 main ones. Of course, YouTube is separate with just video, but it doesn't have to be 4 different pieces of content. It could be the same type of content, but just reworded or something. You can use the same thing in multiple places. So repurposing is huge. And then that it doesn't have to be like, you're not having to go out to find content. If you have that pillar content, your pillar content, a blog or a podcast could be the crux of everything. And your social media content just gets pulled from what you're already creating. So it doesn't feel like I have to do a podcast, plus I have to do a Facebook post, plus I have to do an Instagram post. It's literally like, I'm doing one thing, I'm focusing on my podcast, and then that content from the podcast can be, you say the term atomized, can be broken down into posts. That makes it so much easier because then you don't feel like you're having to do so much. You're doing one thing and it just gets broken up.
Yeah. And again, having the conversations with people, realizing like a lot of them are just completely stuck. They don't know where to go. But if you do have pillar content, if you like to write, if you like to do videos and you're already doing that stuff, please reach out to us, because this is really what Ryan has been helping people with.
So are you a small business owner feeling overworked, overwhelmed when it comes to social media marketing? If you found this video helpful, we would love to come alongside you and help you become an unfrazzled entrepreneur. Click the link below or just go to wingmanvas.com and check out how we can help you get your time back.